Hey, before I kick off the podcast, I just want to shout out Next Door Clothing. Next Door, a clothing brand based out of Bondi in Sydney. They're making really nice jeans and shirts and hats. So go and check out their full range at nextdoorsydney.com. They're also artists, so you can go and check out a range of art. They put on rad parties, and I love what they're doing. So nextdoorsydney.com for the full range. Hey, it's Shan here. This week I speak with UFC fighter Mr. Jamie Mullarkey. So Jamie's back on the show again for a second time this year, which I'm just stoked about because after our first episode, just really got to know the guy and just realised he's just like such a good dude. And him and I guess, connected since then and sort of stayed in contact. So I thought it was a good time to get him back on the show because he has another fight coming up in Vegas around the time of publishing of this episode, probably in about a week's time. So get onto the UFC Fight Pass or ESPN so you can watch that, or fly to Vegas and watch it at the Apex. It's amazing. He's just an amazing human, not because he's obviously a really good fighter and an elite athlete, but he just has this innate kindness and sincerity that I'm just drawn to. You know, I think as a man, I just really love men that are, you know, really tough and strong, but then kind as well. And that combination, I guess it's what I want to be like, you know. So Jamie in this episode goes deep and a bit more into more detail about his training regimes, his recovery modalities, his diet. But we speak a lot about his relationship with long-term coach Ross Pearson, who's also a former UFC fighter, and just, you know, the dynamic and the chemistry that's created over time. And I guess, obviously, it's quite successful because he's, you know, achieved what many elite athletes in that realm want to achieve, and that's a contract with the UFC. You know, that's the ultimate for a lot of people. And he really breaks down how exciting this time in his life is, and he's not taking it for granted. He's just enjoying the whole process. And, you know, it's a blessed life, but it's also a life of dedication, commitment, and very hard work, you know. But he loves those processes, and it's about the journey, right? And you got to enjoy the grind. Otherwise, it's what's the use of doing it? And yeah, it's good to have him back on. We hung out down in Wollongong, spent the morning together. It was recorded on Mother's Day. Give a bit of a shout out to the mums, and I hope you enjoy it. And as always, this episode's for my children. I dedicate every episode to them, Clementine and Otis. So enjoy. Terrible Happy Talks. Terrible Happy Talks.
Yeah, good to be here, man. Whoa. Dude, I'm pumped.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Alright, do this.
I actually love getting on the tools for a day.
Do ya?
Yeah, like just a day here and there, it's like it breaks it up, get back on the tools with the boys. But when it goes like a few days in a row, I'm like, all right, you get a bad job. Yeah, you get a bad job and you go, oh, fuck, I remember why I don't like this.
Does it bring you back to reality?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to turn that aircon off. It's drying my throat.
Nah, that's...
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, man.
It's just drying my throat out.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot this week for various reasons. Yeah, that's insane that you have another fight on a fight night, you know, in Vegas.
Mm.
How do you feel about that? Do you wish it was a pay-per-view?
No.
No? Why?
I want a fight night so I can get a 50K bonus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Because like when you're on the main on the big nights, on the UFC like main cards, main events, all the bonuses are more likely to go to the headliners. Yeah. Because they've got, and which is fair enough. They've done their time. They're like drawn in the show. So it's way more likely for fight of the night and performance of the nights to go to those guys in that like top 3 fights. Yeah. Whereas I'm still climbing the ladder. So if I get on a fight night and I'm on the main card, this one I'm pretty sure, So me and Garam, we're going to put on a cracker of a fight. So I like our chances of maybe getting in there for a sneaky 50K.
Dude, 50K would help.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was saying to you earlier, like, if I went to Vegas to watch an event, I'd prefer to go to a fight night than an actual pay-per-view. I mean, just because it's so much more intimate.
Yeah.
What do you like about that intimacy of it?
I actually liked it because there was actually a while before I fought in front of a crowd again since my debut because of COVID. So COVID came. Then we had the Fight Island where there was literally no one but the judges and the ref. I hated that. Then I fought at the Apex next, and that small little crowd, it reminds me of when I was like starting as an amateur in a small little pub. You can just hear every voice. It's like, it's sick. I like it. And the small little cage, it suits my style because I like to come forward and
you can hear your coach better.
Yeah, that's my favourite thing. I can literally hear every word. It feels like it's a fight, obviously. We're at that fight intensity and it's kill or be killed. But yeah, it feels like it's almost like a training session. Like I can hear my coach the whole way through, clear as day. And
how integral is that for you as a fighter?
Oh, so helpful, man. Like,
is it?
Yeah, like you need to be aware yourself when you're in there. You need to have your own calculated decisions, but with Ross being the eyes from the outside, he can see things that I can't see that I'm doing that I need to do more of. So yeah, having his voice there obviously helps as well.
So are you someone that really relies on that?
No, okay. I'm fine by making my own decisions and being in there, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I respond well to it. I'm a fighter that listens to my coach.
You are?
Yeah.
Or is it just because it's Ross because you've got such a long-standing relationship with him?
No, well...
What if it was another coach?
Yeah, well, definitely it is. Yeah, you have to have that trust in your coach, right? Like, you can't just go in there and listen to everyone and be as in sync with everyone, I don't feel. Yeah, me and Ross are very in sync with each other, so...
Yeah, where does that synchronicity come from, you think?
Oh, just all the hours, man. All the hours and hours of training together.
But you must like him, though, originally to even want to spend those hours with him.
For sure. Like, I actually tell people this, like, so Ross is the first coach or person that I've gone to train with outside of my original day one coach. So I've started MMA by going to a youth fight fitness thing in the off season of footy. So off season of footy, I was sick of getting out of shape and coming back into the fucking next season just out of shape and sloppy. And I started watching MMA on Fuel TV, the Fuel TV days and the Ultimate Fighter. I was like, man, this is sick. I wonder if I could do this. And I was watching with my brother and he's like, yeah, I know a place down in Erina. They do like they train teens and like troubled youth. A lot of it was troubled youth, and I went down and had a session, and literally I threw a kid in an armbar, learned how to do an armbar, threw a kid in an armbar, and just like never looked back.
In your first session?
Yeah. So I was just like obsessed. I was like, I love this stuff. Never even had the intention of fighting, and then just got good at it. Just got stuck in it by being good at the sport. I was always sporty, but never really a standout in anything. I just like played a lot of different sports and that. And this was like I just took a take into it. Where were we going with that? We started with Ross. Yeah, so
I want to know about Ross.
I always trained with Noah and with this guy Jason Siebert, and anyone I ever trained with was through them, right? Gotcha. So like, Jamie, I want you to go to wrestle with the Cash brothers. They taught me how to wrestle. I want you to go here. I want you to go here. So I was always training with Noah and affiliates of Noah. And then the timing of it all, Noah was Noah's like my second dad, man. Like he was like just brought me up from the age of 14, just training and fighting. And really been there for me through my whole pro career, right until, and just the timing of everything, Ross moves to the small little Central Coast of Australia, and Noah was moving his family up north away. So it just happened at that perfect timing. And I said to Ross, I said to Noah, I'm going to go train with Ross Pearson, I think. And the funny thing about it is Ross is very like my first two coaches, Noah and Jace. So they're very similar, like similar vibe, you know what I mean? They're tough, strong, train hard. Like, of all the people that I could go to, I really like their style. And yeah, that's why I've always just like click with Ross, you know?
Yeah. Did he move to the Central Coast after his UFC career? Because he's had fights in the UFC, correct?
Yeah. Well, he actually...
He's still competing?
He came to the coast a couple of times on and off. Gotcha. For a girl, right?
As you do.
As you do. So thank God for Christy Pearson. That's how I met Ross. So thank you, Christy. But yeah, so he was just like, oh no, I'm like a young fighter. I'm keen as mustard, man. And I'll walk into the gym one day, and Benny Hansen ran a gym out at Woy Woy, and he was one of Noah's guys, right? So I used to train with Benny. We competed together. He's one of my best mates still to this day. And I walk in, and he texts me that day and goes, "Come into the gym, Savo. I've got someone coming in." And I was like, okay, like cool, whatever. Might be like a good jiu-jitsu guy or something like that. I walk in and Ross Pearson's hitting the bag, warming himself up, and I'm just like...
So you'd heard of him?
Oh, I knew Definitely. Ross. Yeah, I was a big fan of Ross. Course, like, okay. I watched him on The Ultimate Fighter when he won the Ultimate Fighter season.
Epic.
And then when he started coming to the coast, it was actually when he was at his peak of his career. So he was top 5. Wow. Top 5 in the world. Like, he was very, very close to a title fight. And then because Ross is so keen, he took a short notice fight and got stopped over here in Australia, actually, for Ally Quinta, and got stopped with a TKO. And he was so close, man, to getting that title shot. And yeah, so I trained with him, and then we sort of like bumped into each other a few times when he came back to the coast. So every time he'd come back, I'd hear, and I'd go, "Sweet, I'm coming to train with you." And then we got in contact after like the second or third time that he came and trained. So we were always training on and off. And then he got in contact with us and go, like, the timing again. He comes back and goes, "Hey mate, I'm moving to the coast. I'm starting up a gym." And I was like, wow. So obviously I was straight in there. And then yeah, we just went from there and trained together for like 3 years. Getting some wins under the belt, and then we done our UFC debut.
What do you like about his coaching style? What does he do for you? Like his approach, what do you like about it?
Well, he's very realistic.
Is he a hard man?
Yeah, definitely, definitely a hard man. Like yeah. Like,
but is he hard on you?
Yeah,
with his instruction and I guess practices.
Yeah, like he's the best thing about Ross is he goes by his nickname, and his nickname's The Real Deal. Ross The Real Deal Pearson. And he's like probably one of the realest guys I've ever met. He'll tell you straight up what he's thinking. If you're not fucking pulling the line, he'll let you know. And I respond really well to that. Like I always have. I've always responded well to just someone saying it how it is, and being straight up and pretty like rough and tough mentality. He's not worried about your feelings, and I feel like in this sport you kind of have to be like that.
Like tough love.
Yeah, it is. It's tough love, and again, I've always sort of responded well to that. Not everyone will. You'll get people that are sort of don't like being told like what,
like take it personally.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like take it a bit like to heart, but I've always just like listened and adapted to whatever whatever I'm being told. So, yeah, it's been good, man.
Yeah. Just on a side note, we were talking about, you said your first armbar, that sort of like captivated you. What do you prefer, in a fight, like winning by submission or by knockout?
Oh, knockout. Yeah.
I think everyone does, but I know some people who prefer a submission win.
That's guys that have never knocked anyone out. Nah, I'm kidding. Yeah. But I just think there's no greater feeling than I've said this to heaps of people. There's no greater feeling than you've trained so hard for this fight. This guy's a killer. He's coming to do the same to you.
Yeah.
All that emotion, all that built up sort of energy, and it's all you're putting it on the line. And then when you knock a guy from his feet to the floor, it's just it's the most primal feeling in the world.
When you find the jaw.
Yeah, you clip someone, and it always feels fake. It always actually feels fake when you're there doing it, because you hit him, and when it's a clean shot, it feels like nothing. Your glove goes straight through their jaw, and you're just like, they fall, and you're like, whoa! Like he's.
Is it almost like I know when I've had moments, not in fighting, but when I've accomplished something physically, whether it was in soccer or surfing or skateboarding, I've had moments where time slows down. And everything just works for this one split second. Is that the sort of feeling you get? Like you're in the zone, and
man,
and it all just comes together, and it's like it's slow mo.
It is, and it's like you've envisioned it for the whole lead up. You've envisioned this happening, and then when it happens, it's just like it's like everything goes in extra slow mo. Like they're falling, and you're just like, oh wow,
I think they call it the flow state.
Yeah, and then my instincts just fucking kick in like no other, just that kill or be killed. Like I'm just on him.
You jump on him.
Jump on him straight away. Yeah.
Till the ref jumps in and controls it.
Yes.
Controlled
that's what their
violence.
job is. Yeah, man. That's it.
I was saying this, I've been saying this a lot lately, and I want to say it, I want to put it out there, I love violence.
Yeah.
As a man, I need violence.
And that's perfectly normal.
And it is normal, and I used to be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
But it's got to be controlled violence.
Yeah.
When you got, like you said, two people that want to be doing it, there is something you said this word primal.
Yeah.
It satisfies some weird primal urge. No, that's not weird. It satisfies my primal urge as a man, dude.
Yeah, man.
You feel that?
100%. And most people are captivated by it.
You think?
By violence. There are people that don't like it for sure, and that's fine. But the majority of the human population, it's just like it pulls you in. It's like two guys, two girls that are trying to take each other out in a controlled way, like we said. I don't think anything beats it. It's just
it's an art. It's such an art. I see you as an artist. You're a martial artist.
Yeah.
Perfecting your craft, which you'll never perfect. You'll always just no one ever perfects art.
Nah. Yeah. Always chasing to do more, be better.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. I wanna talk about UFC 284 because that was such a big moment for I guess Australia. That event, there's not a lot of Australian UFC events, and you were on that card. And last time I had you on the show, it was before you were in the training camp for that.
Yeah.
So let's recap it. I just want to preface it by saying and I'm not blowing smoke because I like you as a person, but I loved your fight. It looked like a really measured fight, calculated, disciplined. You didn't make yourself vulnerable. You picked your shots and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the fight went?
Yeah, exactly that, man. We saw Francisco. He's making his debut against me, and he was a dangerous cat, man. He had 11. He was undefeated. 11 fights, 11 finishes. So I knew that he's gonna bring that young, hungry, nervous energy, and we anticipated that. So my style. The thing about my style is a lot of the time I apply pressure. So I'm the one pressing the action and applying pressure, which means that I tend to get hit on the way in because I'm forcing the action and I'm engaging first.
Take one to give one.
Yeah. I'm not trying to obviously take one, but when you're coming in and applying the pressure and being the guy pressing the action, a lot of the time you are going to have to do that. And it's just my style. It's how I've always fought. I'm trying to get better at not getting hit, but that's just it. And this fight was let him go first.
I noticed.
This fight was like, because you got to fight different people differently, obviously. Like, you're not going to be able to be the longer guy fighting from the outside every single fight. But this fight was, I had in my head the whole time, the only way I'm losing this fight is if I give him a chance to hit me.
Gotcha.
Because he's so dangerous. He's a powerful young.
You could tell.
Yeah.
And you were his first loss.
Yeah, first loss. But it was. I think like. I think I was a tough fight for him to come in on his debut. You know, like I debuted against a really tough guy, but it was his debut as well, Brad Riddell.
I didn't know you actually debuted against Brad Riddell.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
You guys trained together as well.
Yeah, we've trained together like on and off, just in between like for different camps. And funnily enough, he actually cornered me in my first UFC win.
Did he?
Yeah, just the way it panned out. He was over in the States when I was fighting. When Alex was supposed to be fighting on that card, but he got COVID. So it was like a bittersweet sort of trip. But yeah, he ended up being over there, and there was Joe cornered me, Noah cornered me, my first coach, and then there was another spot in the corner, and Joe was like, "Hey man, I think we should get Brad in the corner. He's really good to have." And he was. He gave some sound advice, and no, it was good. He's a good guy. I like Brad.
Yeah. I actually think he's an underrated fighter. Like he's so good, that guy. But
oh man, he's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, but he's I think he's underrated. I think people sleep on him a little bit, in my opinion. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was until he's had these couple of losses. But like that's this sport, man. This sport, we're fighting the best guys in the world, and there's no room for error. And he's only lost to the top 15, top 10 guys. Like, yeah. Literally all his losses in the UFC are from top 15 guys.
After that Francisco fight, dude, in your interview, you called out Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to know, like, why did you decide to call out Paddy Pimblett?
Oh man, everyone wants the Paddy Pimblett fight. You know, like he's got the biggest name in the division for where he's at in the rankings. And you want those kind of fights because they're the guys that give you all that hype.
Yeah,
they got so many eyes on them.
Do you think it'd be an easy fight for you though?
I don't think it would be an easy fight. I think it's a very winnable fight, but it's a fight that I know every lightweight wants. Like I think like Matt Frivola called him out last weekend. Everyone's been calling him out. Yeah, and he knows it. He's a funny guy, man. He's like, oh, I've got everyone chasing me. Like everyone wants the money fight, and he's right. And I don't mind him as a guy. He's a pretty likable guy, I think. But
he probably is. Yeah. He's young and he just got thrust into like superstardom. Must be hard to navigate.
Yeah. I don't know much about him. I haven't watched much of his interviews and that. But the couple that I have watched, I watched his like post-fight press conference of the UFC London and that, where and he's just got the world at his feet. But he seems very grounded for a guy that has that kind of for a guy that has that kind of like you said, like stardom thrown on him, and that kind of hype around him. You'd have so many people telling you like you're the man and all this, and it'd be very easy to get caught up in. I would feel, but he's got his like, from what I saw, he's got his like sort of small circle of people that he just he said he just goes, nothing's changed for me. And Yeah, I respect that.
He copped so much shit after that Jared Gordon fight. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he copped a lot of shit just for the way he conducted himself after it. You know, because let's face it, it was a tenuous win.
Yeah.
A very debatable win.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
knows that. But I had a guest on here, Ian Larios. He's actually the dietitian and trainer for a variety of UFC fighters, like recently Jamal Hill, Jared Gordon, who else? Yair Rodriguez in his interim fight. And he's all about really safe weight cutting. So he gets his fighters to do these really good progressive weight cuts where it's not too stressful on the body, you know, a couple of days before the fight. And his observation was that thing that Paddy does where he just puts on the weight and then when he gets into a fight camp, he's trying to just shed the weight, the whole fight camp and stuff. He's kind of feeling like it's going to be detrimental to his career because he's making himself vulnerable through these really hard weight cuts.
For sure.
Now, I'm looking at you. You look pretty lean at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you on track?
Yeah, man. No, we're pretty professional. And since I've been working with Geordie, the fight dietitian, I've changed my whole sort of like my whole ways because I think what Paddy sort of does, that was the old school kind of way where you just, it's all about making weight and eating as little calories and carbs as you can all fight camp, and all you're doing is putting your body under stress. You're not getting the best out of your training.
You're training in deficit.
Exactly. Yeah. How are you supposed to perform when you're not fueling your training? Like it's pretty fucking simple when you put it that way, but it's just that old school mentality and culture that it's definitely changing. Like even this last 5 years, you see that pretty much a lot. Or most fighters to a lot of fighters are doing it right now, but you still get people, man, that are just doing it the wrong old school way, listening to their old fucking coaches that were like fighting back in the 90s, like just.
So with your fight dietitian guy, you're going into training sessions feeling fueled?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
Yep.
So because this is what Ian was saying, he's like with Jamal Hill, for example. Like he was making these, large servings, and Jamal was like, "Are you sure? Like this is a lot of food."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I got you, man. I got you." Like and he was eating large meals, like a couple of weeks out, and in the last week as well. And he's like, "Am I going to make weight?" He's like, "I got you." So it was kind of like fuel up, just the right kind of food and things like that.
Yeah, and it is. It's just like it's literally just knowledge.
Okay,
knowledge and science that we. Fighters, even at the highest level, the top level in the world, have been sort of lacking and missing in the last like 5 to 10 years. It's come a long way, man. And I know exactly what you mean with what he was saying about Jamal Hill. Sometimes I'm going to Geordie on fight week. I'm eating these meals going, "Are you sure, dude? Like I'm weighing in 2 days. Like I'm allowed to eat this?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, the numbers add up." He keeps saying the numbers add up. And he goes, "Bro, science." I'm just like, but he has my full trust now because
so
he's
been earned. He's earned the trust.
Yeah. And his philosophy is we don't try to make fighters make weight. We want to make them feel like a machine on fight night. That's what that's his philosophy.
So what, in those last couple of days, it's basically a water cut.
Yeah, you do the water manipulation, so you water load all week and flush out all the electrolytes and salts that are in your body. And you're kind of tricking your body to feeling hydrated, and then you drastically drop it in that last 24 hours. So you cut your water and you've got a lot of water to sweat out, and you don't have many minerals in your body to hold it in. So it makes your weight cut a lot easier.
Have you been approached by USADA in these last few weeks? Is that happening?
Yeah, they came out maybe 2 months ago, a month ago or something. Yeah.
Is it like a surprise visit?
Yeah, completely random. So USADA can just rock up to my door or the gym whenever. The last time they came out about a month or so ago, I was at cryotherapy, one of my sponsors, and I was just like chilling out, doing ice
Give them a shout out.
Yeah. Cryotherapy, man. If have you done it?
No, I only do ice baths, ice plunge, but not actual. It's like, what is it?
The cryo chamber. Yeah,
the cryo chamber. I've seen them.
So they pump from these holding tanks, which is at like minus, I don't know, it's like minus 150 degrees or something like that. It's like insanely cold. Pumps through these hoses and into your cryo chamber, right?
Yeah.
So it's like oxygen and I'll probably stuff this up, but it's like oxygen and nitrogen or something like that.
Yeah.
And it gets pumped through the hoses into your chamber, and that chamber goes to, it's like a dry ice, and it goes to
I was
like,
gonna ask that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a dry ice. So you don't you don't feel as much of a shock as when you go into a ice bath, but apparently it hits a lot deeper into your tissues, into your connective tissues.
Similar to like an infrared sauna as opposed to a normal sauna. So it's going to the core.
Yeah, same sort of thing. It's like really good for like your inflammation. It's good for you, like the way you recover, and it resets your whole body.
Yeah.
The endorphins, the sleep. There's a lot that's behind it, and that's why it's so successful, because you get a lot of good outcomes, and there's a lot of science behind it.
Yeah. Like, how long do you last in it?
There's only 3 minutes.
And you'll last the whole 3 minutes. Like, is it like, because like, for example, I did an ice plunge the other day in Newcastle in the water, and it was I think the water was 10 degrees.
Right.
I mean, and like 2 minutes is a long, like it's hard. You've got to mentally battle it.
Yeah.
So do you have to do the same? Is it a mental battle those 3 minutes, or?
Well, it's the opposite to an ice bath. So ice bath, you first get in, and it's that initial shock.
Yep.
You're like really, oh shit, like getting your breathing right. And then you know how after about 3-4 minutes you're kind of okay with it?
Yeah.
It's the opposite in the cryo chamber. You start and it's like, okay, like I'm good. And then as the time goes on, you're like, all right, this is getting hard now. Like, so at that last 30-second mark, you're pretty keen to get out, because it's getting just colder and colder and colder.
Okay.
I think it's because of the wet sensation on your skin.
Yeah, okay.
So when you get in an ice bath, that wet feeling on your skin is, I guess that's like more of a shock. Whereas the cryo chambers are colder, but they actually feel like.
Well, I got a bit of knowledge because I listened to the Andrew Huberman Lab podcast, who's a neuroscientist from Stanford. He's like my favourite podcast, and I always talk about him on here. So.
Yeah.
I basically, anything smart I say is always from Andrew Huberman. But yeah, he explains how, your body has two temperatures. We have our surface body temperature and then our core body temperature.
Yeah.
And that's why he's saying infrared sauna actually heats the core. But when you go into a wet sauna, it has to heat the surface first.
Right.
So it sounds like what you're talking about is the opposite to that.
Yes.
And what we're really trying to do is manipulate our core body temperature.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. And that's what you're getting straight to it.
Yeah.
So what, you started just turned up to that place?
Yeah, they called up my they rocked up to my house and I wasn't there, because you have to let USADA you have to let USADA know all the time where you are, what you're doing.
Oh,
so they've got a whereabouts up. So I've let them know that I'm down here.
Right.
So they know. Because if you have 3 strikes, so every time they come and you're not where your app says you are, there's a strike on your name. Oh. And if you get 3 strikes in 12 months, you get a suspension from fighting. Yeah.
Imagine they turned up to the podcast right now. That'd be trippy.
Yeah,
so they could monitor where you are right now.
Well, they wouldn't know.
Is it GPS?
They wouldn't know that I'm right here, but they know I'm in Wollongong. They know I'm down here, so they know what times I train at the gym, so they'll probably rock up to the gym in the next week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is interesting for the average person to hear. These are the things that people don't hear about.
Yeah.
They just see you in the ring,
man,
in the cage, and that's all they see. But the shit that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, a lot to it.
Do you ever wonder if it's just too much hard work?
Nah, because I just enjoy it. I enjoy my job. I'm lucky enough to do a job that I really love. So, I swear to God, by every fight when you're cutting weight and you're at that, you're like, fuck, why do I even do this shit? Like, I swear this is going to be my last fight.
So your dietitian at the moment is planning every meal. Because I noticed you're sponsored by a meal company.
Yeah.
Are you eating those meals?
Yeah.
Or is he actually? So he'll suss them out first and go, yeah, you can eat that. You can't. Or is he actually making your meals for you?
So he talks to TikTok Nutrition.
Yep.
They're my food sponsor.
Cool.
Fucking love them.
Yep.
And they sort me out with my meals for the week. And each week, Geordie lets them know the carb intake and the protein intake.
Okay.
And the right calories, the macros. So I'm lucky enough to have him literally talking with them, and they just sort my meals out, so it's just all done. And
right.
I noticed that they get the carb kind of drops and the protein goes up as the camp goes on.
Okay.
So which you just have to do that because you've got a weight that you've got to hit.
Yeah.
But it's still enough and still plenty to keep me fueled, and they fucking taste good too.
Do they?
So, yeah.
Yeah. I actually was at the time I was trying to order some online. But I am going to go to it because I've been looking for some meals as well. But at the time, they weren't delivering to Wollongong. But they might be now. I don't know. That was a while back.
Yeah, they definitely are now.
Yeah.
So
because some of those meals, like those pre-made meals, can be kind of shit. But I've heard those TikTok ones. It sounds like an ad, but whatever. They're pretty new. They're pretty tasty as well.
Yeah, man. No, I like them. I rate them a lot.
It's funny how in this day and age, people are turning more to that because they just don't have time to cook their own meals.
Yeah, and that's the thing that it does for me. It's the convenience, the time that it saves me. Yeah. I don't even have to go to the shop to get all my food for starters. And then you spend if you do your meal prep for the week, you spend I don't know, 3 hours on a Sunday setting
you
up.
Be resting.
Yeah, when you can just be chilling. So I like it a lot. There's enough even stuff that I have to do without worrying about my meal prep.
Yeah. What are you ranked at the moment?
I believe I'm in that top 30.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
So after that last performance at UFC 284, were you hoping for a start on say UFC 290 or something like that?
Nah, I didn't think that it would, especially because I got a debut guy.
Okay. Okay.
For some reason, no one wanted to fight me.
Yeah, why? Why do you think that was the case? I noticed that you were talking about that on social media.
Yeah. I've got no idea.
Too tough.
I think that, I personally think that the Americans don't like leaving their country to fight.
Is that what you've learned over the years?
I reckon. I don't know. Because there's plenty of guys that could have come out to Australia and fought me, but I reckon I'm a tough fight, and there could have been heaps of reasons. I'm sure there was a lot of guys that were already matched, so they couldn't have taken it. Then there was probably some guys that are injured, but surely there was a few guys that got offered the fight that could have taken it, because my opponent pulled out 9 weeks out. He pulled from the fight, so he was getting surgery. So I was like, that's sweet, I'll get a replacement, no worries. Yeah. Didn't get a replacement until 4 weeks out. So that 4 weeks, there must have been guys turning the fight down. Yeah.
That's hard training wise, right? You don't know what you're preparing for.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with it. I'm pretty good at not really worrying about it, because I think we were talking about that last time, eh?
Yeah.
Where Jarrett Wilbraham was saying it must be hard preparing for a fight where you don't know who you're fighting, and I was like, yeah, it is. It kind of is, but at the same time, I've been doing it so long where I just don't really worry about it.
Okay.
I focus on myself.
You're comfortable enough with all aspects of your game that you can adapt sort of last minute.
Yeah.
Go, okay, this guy's a wrestler. Okay, this guy's a striker. Okay, this guy. Okay.
Well, that's the good thing about being well rounded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter where the fight goes, I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can take a fight to wherever I need to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about this guy?
Garam.
Yeah. What do you know about him?
Garam Kutatelado. He's good, man. He's a good fighter.
You reckon he'll stay on the feet?
Tough kickboxer. I think it'll be a predominantly kickboxing fight, but I'm looking to pressure him with wrestling and boxing and wear him down.
Yeah, nice.
That's the game plan.
Stay away from his kicks?
Yeah, man. Yeah, stay away from his kicks and come in on them, actually, like take his kicks off him. So I know I'm going to come out of this fight with some bruises because it's going to be one of those wars where I have to get in. If I play the outside game with him, he's very, very fast.
Okay.
And that's what he wants. He wants that outside, like in and out, bouncy karate sort of kickbox style.
Okay.
Because he's had like 80 kickboxing fights. Very dangerous, but I'm just gonna fucking walk right through him, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna really take it to him and take his weapons off him, and get that win.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Jarrett's fight down in Melbourne?
Oh,
What's your summation of that?
It was a crazy, crazy fucking fight.
Is it just me, or is he super engaging to watch?
Yeah, man. That was because it was scheduled for 5 fives, and they came out and it was a 1-round fight. Like that's the pace they were going at in that first round, you know. Like he's an intense individual, man.
Yeah.
Which, it's so exciting to watch. It's so exciting. So I'm sure he's learned a lot from that fight.
What would be your advice to him after that fight? I mean, there's an obvious one. Don't give up your back.
Yeah.
Which is easy to say.
Yeah. Especially when you're in there with a guy like Khan Offley. He's a very, very high-level fighter, man. He's been around for years and years. And I think he was the main event, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and they went on at like 11 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah, main event, title fight. So I would say I would think that he's learnt a lot from it in take your time a little bit more. I would say. Yeah. Just because it was a very frantic, high pace, which can go one or two ways. If he got the finish, we'd all be saying, fuck, Jarrett Wilbraham, wow, what a finish, what a hero. But it can go one or two ways when you start that hard and you've got a tough guy in front of you like Khan. You can sort of blow your wad a little bit early and just like rush decisions.
That's exactly what Jarrett said.
Yeah.
He said, I got a few good shots on him and I got a taste. And I'm like, okay, like, and he's rattled and I'm just going to keep going. And apparently Israel Adesanya reached out to him after the fight and sent him a message and said, listen, just because you get a good shot, you don't have to rush the next few. Just just sit back and wait. And then,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he said that really obviously resonated with him to hear from him. So.
Yeah. No, it is, man. It's not a rush. I remember one of my pro fights in Sydney in Punch Bowl. I was like, I'm one to talk, but I was like that for most of my pro career. I would just come out guns blazing from the first bell, and I remember I was warming up for a fight for a super fight. I was fighting for the lightweight title against Abel Brights. And Josh Coolabell, my mate, he's in the UFC now as well. He's come into the change rooms when I'm warming up, and he saw how pumped I was looking, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking chin this cunt, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, bro, touch him. He said, just touch him. You hit hard. There's no need to put everything into every shot. You need to just take your time. You will hurt him. He said, like, you will 100% hurt him. Just take your time. And that's exactly what I did. I just went out there and was just, I thought, like, you know, sometimes just the way someone says something, it can just really resonate with you. Yeah, it was like that, man. Just the way he said it, I was like, I'm just going to touch him. I'm just going to feel it out. Just go out there and take my time. And ever since then, I've really said to all our guys, like, you got to take your time. There's no rush.
You think it's a street fight mentality, that?
It's fight or flight, I reckon.
Okay.
Fight or flight response. Like when you're put in that situation. In saying that, I've always been calm when I am getting really aggressive. I've at the same time like been quite calculated, but it's that fight or flight when you put someone in there and there's a guy trying to kill you. You can get that nervous, anxious energy. Like I said about Francisco, being on the big show, coming in to fight me for that first time, we knew that that's what he'd bring, and it's going to be dangerous.
Dude, I there was moments with him and I went, oh, like he's quick and he's hard. Like I thought, oh shit, he's
powerful little nugget.
I was scared for you for a moment, but then I don't know, you dominated. There was one point on the ground too. I think he tried to get you in, and you flipped out of it. Tried to get you on a guillotine? No. Kimura, yeah. He
The
had your
last
arm, didn't
minute
you?
of the fight.
Yeah, and
man.
I was like, no, fuck no.
I could not believe it.
And you kind of flipped out of it. Then you got sort of semi-stuck up against the cage.
Yeah. Because I was being just like lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm on top, and I knew there was like a minute left in the fight, and I'm loose with my arms on top, and he's just snatched one and ripped one out. And as he went for it, I rolled through, and then he got on top and he still had my arm, but he didn't have it behind my back. So we're both just fighting for it. And in that moment, I literally thought to myself, no fucking way. Like,
Dude,
I was like, this guy, and I thought to myself, this guy's got like, it was like a flashback, but I remember thinking, he's got 11 finishes and he's going to finish me in the last minute. I was like, no fucking way.
I think even the commentators were saying it too. They were just like, no, like, come on.
Such a clean performance, and then that. But then
I think John Attic was freaking out too.
I snapped out of it and then remembered what to do. Would just turn my hips in and
yeah, you rolled with it beautifully. But then I had a split second of like the cage was right there. And I thought that was going to stop you from being able to roll. I think that's what I remember.
Yeah. Like you can get stuck in those positions where the cage can, just an awful position and get unlucky there.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, listen? I know we're talking about like a lot about fighting, but obviously, who cares? Like that's what this is about.
Yeah.
UFC 290. Like, what do you think of that announcement?
Man, Vulcan. Like that is going to be It's going to be a blockbuster fight.
But talk about like having to adapt. So Volk's just gone up against probably one of the best wrestlers in the UFC, in Islam, and then now he's going to go up against one of the most unpredictable strikers in the UFC. I don't know.
Yeah.
We never count Volk out, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, it's like, really? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, big change up, man. It's stylistically, it's a really interesting and fun fight. But just having trained with Volk, I know that his fight IQ is so high and intelligent. So I see him. I actually see him reading a lot of stuff that does just by his distance management.
Okay.
Just by how close gets into him. Yeah. I know he throws a lot of funky spinning elbows, back elbows, flying knees, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm pretty confident that Volk's going to be able to see most things coming, and then he'll just do what Volk does and break him with pressure and cardio and just pick him apart.
Volk's cardio is just next level.
I swear he has a third lung.
You reckon?
I reckon. It's just insane.
When you train against him, like with him, where do you see his cardio really manifest? Is it in the wrestling stuff where you really see how good his cardio is?
I think it's when everything gets mixed together. Like when the hardest part about MMA is like chaining all the different what's the word I'm looking for? The physical, like the energy systems.
Oh, okay.
So you've got anaerobic, you've got aerobic,
yes.
then you've got your strength and your explosiveness.
Yeah.
So that's why MMA is so short. Like it's short rounds, 5-minute rounds, but it's intense.
Hell yeah.
Super intense, especially when like for instance Jarrett and Khan, when the way they went at it, like you can't hold that for a very long time. Yeah, it's not sustainable. But that's where you notice that Volk's just so in control of his pace, because you have scrambles with him. You'll have a wrestle, straight back up kickboxing, shooting again, and then your mind's just going, fuck, man, this guy does not go away. Yeah. And then you get up and he's in your face, and he's making you panic. So he's very good at applying smart pressure, but not wasting energy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's very efficient with his energy.
That's why this sport is like that combination of physical, mental, and emotional. Having to harness all those elements. That's why I really do believe that they're the most elite athletes in the world.
Yeah, man.
Stuff you guys do.
I think it's one of the hardest sports to to replicate as well. Do you want some?
No, I'm good, thanks, brother. Yeah, it's that card too. There's one fight I'm interested in. I'm interested in all the fights because Moreno's on the card as well.
Yes,
I love him, that little Mexican guy, dude.
Man, he's such a likable guy.
Have you met him?
I talked to him on Fox Sports.
Yeah, that's rocking there. Keep going.
Yeah, I was on the Fox Sports panel, and they had him on, and I was just enjoying listening to him and Rob Whittaker talk because they're both like Lego fans. And yeah, man, they were just having great chats about Lego and about anime and all this kind of stuff. So, nah, he's a super likable guy, and fuck, what a fighter! Like,
yeah, just heart, dude.
Just a little Mexican warrior.
Just so much heart.
So
and then
much
the
heart.
other fight, Rob Whittaker and that South African guy, Duplessis.
Yeah, Drickus.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, obviously, I want Rob Whittaker to win. That Duplessis guy is one of those fighters who, I don't know, he talks himself up more than he should. And, you want to see those people get their asses kicked. I don't know. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, well, I think he's out of his league with Rob Whittaker.
You do?
I do.
That's what I was thinking.
I think Rob's going to show him the levels. Like,
I wonder why he got that fight, though. That's what I'm curious about.
So he was saying that it's a bit of like controversy and stuff about what he said. He said
after Israel's fight.
Yes, he is from South Africa and he's South African born and bred and trains there and everything. And then I guess he's like a bit jealous of Israel Adesanya and Kamaru Usman because they claim to be South African, which they are. They obviously are. They're African, and he's called him out and been like, "Oh, well, you're not real African. Where you don't live here, you don't breathe African air." It's like, whoa. So he's kind of like bypassed a lot of people, cut the line a little bit because he's peaked. Is his interest and he's gone, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like you don't talk to me about where I'm from and say that I'm not African. I'm just as African as you are." So, yeah, it's a little bit like he has cut the line, so to speak.
Well, that's how it feels. Is that smart promotion, though?
I think so because, like, the middleweight division's a hard one, man, because you've got Rob's, like, the gatekeeper for Izzy. No one can beat Rob, but then no one can beat Izzy. And Rob can't beat Izzy, or he hasn't the last two times. So it's a tough one, man. And I think that's what the UFC's done. They've gone, oh, well, this guy's like talking some shit and Israel wants to fight him now.
Yeah.
He's lit a fire under Izzy to fight him. So, yeah, I think that's the only reason he's got that pass.
Yeah,
but I don't see him getting past Rob.
Nah, either do I, but who knows? Like you said,
he's game. He's a game guy.
Yeah.
He comes to fight, but I just think the levels, like Rob's going to really show him that he's just not in that top 5 yet.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got. But, I mean, again, who am I? I'm just a casual on the lounge, really. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, with your story and going back to the plumbing stuff, like, this is all so exciting and you've got so much exciting stuff ahead. How satisfied will you be when it all comes to an end to go back to plumbing? You think you'd be okay with it?
Yeah, man, I'll be okay.
Will you go back to plumbing, or would you try and navigate some sort of career in the fighting space?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I've always wanted to do disability work as well.
Have you?
Yeah.
Who are you, dude?
Yeah.
Why?
I just I feel like I just connect with them really well with someone with a disability. I love them. I love like the personalities that you get off them, and the fact that they're just people. They're really like just like us, but they're more interesting and better and funner. And I think I'd be really well. I think I'd I'd connect well with them being a professional fighter too. I think they'd be like a little bit interested in that.
Yeah,
that's what I see myself maybe doing. I don't know yet, but it's something that I've already talked to.
That's so cool.
People in that sort of field. Yeah,
dude, that's so nice. I would have never expected that.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a heaps rewarding job as well.
Is that what you're looking for?
For sure,
something where you feel like you're doing you've got purpose.
Yes, yeah. and it gives back to me, gives back to the community, and like I don't know, I just really think it would be something that I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I got into teaching, because I felt like I wanted to be of service to the community.
Yeah.
You know, teach young people. As
Yeah.
much as it gives me the shit sometimes. Like most days I walk out of there going, okay, I've done my part. I've helped someone, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So it does feel good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it can be draining sometimes, but
Yeah.
disability work would be the same. It's like anything, good side and bad side.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I like that. I don't know. There's also like the obvious one too is to open up a fight gym. I think I talked to you about that on the phone not too long ago about the area that I moved to. I was like,
Yeah.
they need a good gym up here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's always something on my mind as well.
Is it?
But we'll see what happens. I'll weigh everything up when the time comes to stop fighting. But for now, it's just all eyes on the prize.
How about your family? How are they feeling about your career? Obviously, they're supportive. You know, they want you to stay in it for as long as you can, or they want you out.
Yeah, man. They want me just doing following my heart and doing what I want to do. Yeah, and my family loves it. It's like one of the first things everyone asks me when I catch up with them. Say, any word on a fight? What's going on? So yeah, they're always my number one supporters, man. Very, very supportive since my day dot first amateur fight. Come to every single fight and they love it.
How do you manage being away from them? So at the moment, you know, you're living 2.5 hours away, so you can train at freestyle.
Yeah.
You know, for the end of your fight camp, as you do. I mean, how do you manage that? I guess emotionally, being away from your significant other and your family.
Yeah, man.
Is it hard?
Yeah, it gets hard sometimes, like, and it makes you just appreciate them more. I feel, just being away from them, just makes you like really, really know that it makes you feel lucky for what you have, and nice. Then I guess that just drives me to train obviously even harder when I'm away from that, because you're literally sacrificing like time with your loved ones, something that you can't get back at the end of the day. And man, I miss my dog so much. Oh, bro, miss him so much. He's just like he just makes me so happy, man.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Because I've taken him down a couple of times when we were staying at a place where Volk put us up in a house in a fight house.
Was that last fight camp?
The one before that, I believe. Yeah, there was once when I had him down here, and he's just so good to have down. Just let him run off on the beach, and that's the things that makes me happy. That's what I love doing in my spare time.
Is Volk like super generous like that? Like just paid for a house for all the fighters?
Yeah, man. Like he's
does he do stuff like that?
Very, very good dude, man. Like
why does he do it?
Well, on his camps, he brings guys from all over in, right? And then that obviously gives us the opportunity to train with the best guys in Australia and in the world. Like that last fight camp, he brought in guys from the US. He brought in Craig Jones. He brought in some high-level wrestlers from America.
Hickman.
Yeah, Frank Hickman was over. Brought him over from Thailand. So he basically got that house, and this is like just what a stand-up guy Volk is. Like you don't hear this stuff, and he don't say much, but he just like I offered him a bit of coin and just to be like thank you, and he's like no. It's just such a good dude, man.
So it's like he gets a variety of training partners that are high level.
Yeah,
you guys get somewhere to live. It's like he's putting back into the sport, really.
Oh, for sure.
He's such a good dude.
Yeah, man. And it's like it gives us like the best world championship camp as well. Yeah. So I love being a part of it, man. I feel very, very, very lucky. Since the day that they asked me to come up for the first title defense against Max Holloway, that kind of introduced me to the freestyle team and just the whole vibe down here in the Gong and in the Dang.
You like the Gong?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I love that Windang Shell Cove sort of area. That's where I usually stay for my camps. It's a nice vibe down there.
Good zone, eh?
Yeah.
I just find there's a lot of good people down here.
Heaps, eh?
Do you think so?
Heaps of good people. Like, I don't know, just compared to like where I'm from on the Central Coast, it's like it's getting like a little bit too crowded now. It's like
more of a Sydney vibe?
Becoming like Sydney, yeah.
Okay.
Becoming like a little city where it's just too crammed and everyone's just mad at each other.
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
I mean, the Central Coast is beautiful as well. Like, geographically, it's so beautiful, that place.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. It's still really nice. It's just getting too crowded now.
A bit hard to move
Muppets
around.
From Sydney.
Yeah, traffic can get bad up there, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's Mother's Day today. You know, we're recording on Mother's Day, and obviously you're away from your mother on Mother's Day for training reasons.
Yep.
And, you know, you got a shout out for your mum?
Yeah, man. Like, shout out to Mum. Happy Mother's Day. I was actually just on the phone with her. So gave her a call and check in and just let her know I love her.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
What do you love about her?
Oh, the endless amount of things that she's done for me, for starters. My mum's funny, man. She gets on the drink every just on the odd occasion that she does, and she's just a piss take, mate. She's fucking hilarious. She's like, she's one of my best mates, you
Is
know.
she?
Yeah, I love Mum.
Man.
Get on great.
Mum's the best.
Yeah.
Is she Irish background as well?
Yeah.
So both your parents are from Ireland?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow, man. The Fighting Irish.
Yeah, man.
You get back to Ireland much?
Yeah, I've been back a few times, about 4 or 5 times now. And it's obviously better when back there out of a fight camp, when I'm able to go and have a few pints with the boys and get into the Irish food. The food's so good over there. It's just all like comfort food, like
bangers and mash.
Hearty feeds, just pub feeds.
Cold outside.
Yeah.
Pub feed in a pint.
Yeah, man. No, it's good, and I feel at home when I go back there. It's like it's weird. I feel like it's just like in my blood and in my DNA.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it is literally.
Yeah.
It's funny, I felt that because I've got Maltese heritage, which is part of Europe, you know.
Right.
And my father is Maltese, or was Maltese before he passed away. But I must admit, like growing up in Australia, born here, and sort of having, I guess, olive skin, but then going over to Malta, it was, I remember going there just going, okay, like this is actually where my DNA is from.
It's weird,
and I'm like, I really feel it. Like this is home. Like, don't get me wrong, Australia's home, but it's like, okay, like, and I needed to do it.
Yeah.
To really identify with the people. And I see people and go, oh, he looks like me a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't get that here. I don't look at the average white Australian and go, oh, we look the same.
Yeah.
Over there, I'm like, oh, I see those little characteristics.
Yeah. And it's like you adapt to where you are and you fit in so quick, eh?
Yeah.
It's actually weird.
And even my surname too, you know, it's like, oh, okay. Like in Australia, I say my surname to people and they go, oh, where's that from? But then I go over there, when I've been over there and I said it, it's like, oh, it's like Smith in Australia, you know.
Yeah.
But you probably get that too in, Mullarkey's full Irish. You know?
Yeah.
So people hear that in Ireland and go, yeah, it's a good Irish name.
Yeah, one of us.
Oh, are you holding that mic? You heard the rattle?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that screw's a little bit undone. But
that's cool.
Oh, that's why but it's all good.
No.
Yeah, so I want to, before we start to wind it up a little bit, just tell me a little bit about Vegas. Like, do you like being in Vegas as a town?
Well, the last time I was there for my last fight against Michael Johnson, that was the first time that we were able to actually be out and about and experience Vegas. So we stayed at the Hard Rock Casino, Hard Rock Hotel. Yeah. But yeah, I liked it, man. Yeah. I liked it. It was it's different. It's a different world over there, but you see a lot of different characters. But no, it was nice.
Will you party after the fight?
Oh fuck yeah, man, 100%. Yeah.
You're not going to organise like an actual post-fight party at a venue like they do.
I have them. I have done in Vegas before. Ross, OG Rossi P, he's got the connections over there.
Has he?
Yeah, man.
Of course he does.
So yeah. We after I fought Jalen Turner, we went out and had a party, but that was coming off a loss, so wasn't as good. But this time round, we'll go out and send it. Yeah.
How many more fights do you want to have this year if you could?
Man, if I could, it's a harder one because my plan was to have 4 fights this year, especially because I got on that February card in Australia. That's a great opportunity to pump out a good 4 fights, fighting that earlier in the year. But then I wasn't able to get anything until June. It's still pretty possible. So if I can get another 3 fights in this year, I'd be stoked.
Yeah,
because the plan is to go June, this next one, and then UFC's coming back to Sydney in September.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so there.
So, yeah, we definitely want to get on that. So that gives me a good time frame between June to September.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks in between camps to recover. And then, we'll see how we go after September. If it all plays out the way I want it to, I could see myself getting in again, maybe like late November, December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That'd be unreal for the bank account.
Yeah. I mean, do you stress about money?
It is like when I first started doing this full-time fighting gig, it's like not a steady income, right? It's not a secure, stable income. And like it's like Ross said to me, it's the best job in the world. You've got financial stress to deal with because it's all riding on your wins and your losses, but it's worth that financial stress because you're doing what you love.
You can't put a price on these experiences.
You actually can't.
I just think money comes and goes. You'll earn money later on in life, whatever job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I put a price on what's going on right now.
100%.
And these are memories you'll share with your kids and your grandkids. And it's so good, dude.
Yeah, man. I sort of like stop and pinch myself like about that sometimes, like when you have the down days and that, and you're like, well, hang on a second, man, you're fucking doing what you love. This is unreal.
Yeah.
I've
got some random questions. Random question number 1: have you ever met Joe Rogan?
Over the screen, I have. Yeah.
Over screen?
Yeah. I was
Fox News.
No, like he interviewed me, but it was at COVID when. So
Joe Rogan interviewed you?
Yeah, after my first UFC win.
No way.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, man.
And what was his vibe like?
Oh man, it's just like when I was because I wasn't face to face right next to him, so that was like not as good. But I was still at the same time going, "Fuck, I'm getting in." I've thought about this so many times before. Getting interviewed by Joe Rogan, it was surreal, man.
So that's another little milestone along the way. I think like little things like that. There's little micro experiences you have,
especially for
no one else
a young fighter. Like everyone wants that sort of like meet Bruce Buffer and meet Joe Rogan. Yeah, it's cool.
But have you seen like a lot of fighters do now? If they get a Joe Rogan octagon interview post fight, it's like, you know, a lot of fighters going, "Oh, I got my Joe Rogan interview." You know, like it's now like there's little things they want to tick off in their career.
Yeah. No, it is.
Hey?
It's
special humour, that guy. Yeah. And the other random question it just came to me, and I did want to ask you: have you ever knocked someone out with an elbow?
On the floor, yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
Is that one? Like, I think for me, that would be the way I'd want to do it.
Elbow to the face.
I love elbows, man.
Yeah. Well, on the ground, it's almost all I throw.
Yeah.
Because I've got pretty long limbs, and it's easier and like quicker for me to roll an elbow over on your face than to posture up and punch.
Gotcha.
And the good thing about elbows is you don't lose position as easy because you don't have to posture up.
And they're sharp.
Yes. Do more damage.
Get the blades out.
I'm a massive fan of elbows since I first started pro fighting. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, the first pro fight I had was a TKO stoppage with elbows. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm so glad I asked.
Yeah.
So glad. Yeah, I've just always had this idea of like if I was in close proximity and then we're in a clinch and then I'm like pulling out of the clinch, get him with the elbow.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. Anyway.
Such an
just
easy, sharp weapon. Again,
these are really easy things to think about from the lounge.
Oh, dream away. Fucking, I love it.
Dude, I'm 46. I'm never having a fight, but it's like, I love the training. I just love it. And like the times I've been in freestyle, just being around that energy that you guys bring, it's like, it's powerful, but it's kind and just satisfies something deep in your soul as a man, just that primal.
And it's good because you're like the perfect example of someone who has that, like, even the way that we were talking about, like, enjoying violence.
Yeah.
It's such a natural thing for us to feel. It is.
I think so.
It's a primal, natural thing for us to feel, but you're the perfect example of someone that comes into the gym to learn and to enjoy it, not to have a fucking shit, like, I'm a fighter, I know how to fight now and go start trouble, and you're not like that at all. You're a really nice soul.
Thanks, brother.
Bro. Yeah. Wants to learn and enjoy it and have respect for it. That's what it's about.
It is.
Gives you some discipline. I urge anyone to get into a gym and try it out.
Yeah, you said that in the last episode. I thought it was such a good... Because this podcast... I never set out for this podcast to be like a mental health awareness podcast. Like, that was never my intention. But just by default, it's occurred. And it's like every guest brings their own angle on mental health. And I just really liked yours a lot because it was just the most obvious and the most rational and simple way. You were just like... If you're not feeling well mentally, just go and do some hard training. Like, I guarantee you'll feel better. Like, that's what you said in our last episode. And it really stuck with me, you know, when I'm feeling like shit, you know, just good, hard training.
Yeah.
Gets you out of your shit, gets you out of your head. Cause you
it does.
To be, right?
Clears your head. It physically releases chemicals in your brain that make you feel better. So there's no, like, argument to it. It will make you feel better. Make you have a better outlook on things as well. For
sure. Like my last guest, Craig Martin, who's had professional MMA fights, he said his philosophy is like, you want to feel better mentally, train really hard, always look at ways to educate yourself. It could be in the gym or outside. Train hard, educate, and be disciplined. He goes, they're the three pillars. You do those things, you're going to just start feeling better.
Yeah.
So stop whinging.
I agree.
Like, take action, you know?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, listen, it's been epic. I feel so honoured to have you on again, especially in this late in your fight camp, and I'll be cheering for you.
Thank you.
How can people watch it?
You can watch it on UFC Fight Pass or probably on ESPN, I'd say.
ESPN?
Yeah. ESPN.
Well, it'll be on at a local pub too. So
Yep, for sure. June 3rd, June 4th over here in Australia. Watch me go to work. Yeah.
And, you know, follow Jamie on the socials, stay updated, get little insights into his life. He's a inspirational and rad human. Now, Jamie, you know this, I ask all guests to come to the podcast with like a cause they want to support or advocate for, and we talked about last time, but what do you got for us again this time?
Yeah, I want to advocate. I'll do the double header and double up on Talk to Me, bro, just to get that mental health awareness out there. I don't think you can really spread it enough.
Yes, sir.
Talk to your mates.
Absolutely. And I'll just, jump on the back of that. They have chapters in Wollongong and Newcastle, and every Friday in Wollongong at City Beach, they do ice baths. They set up the portable ice baths. You have an ice bath, have a chat. They also sometimes mix in a bit of yoga, and it's also for men and women. And then they do the same thing in Newcastle at Dixon Park, kiosk, Sunny Boy kiosk. Every Friday morning, 6 a.m, ice baths, maybe a swim in the ocean, coffee, chat, and they'll supply all the coffee for free as well.
How good.
So all the funds they make, they spend it on coffee because coffee's a good way of getting people talking.
Yeah. Just have a chat.
Well, it's better than having a chat for some people who, if you're struggling with mental health, chatting in the pub over beers might not be the best place for you.
Nah.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Well, Mother's Day, let's go and enjoy our Sunday.
Yeah, go to the mums.
Thank you, brother.
All right, brother.
Legend.
Thanks for having us on.